management of KLAV.
Welcome to Positive Impact Now with your hosts, Judge Angel and Mike Faust. For the next 60 minutes, we're going to inspire and uplift our listeners. The phone lines are open at 731-1230. That's 731-1230 or toll free 1-866-820-5528. That's 1-866-820-KLAV. It's time for Positive Impact Now. And here are the hosts, Judge Angel and Mike Faust.
Greetings, welcome. Thank you for joining Positive Impact Now. Our Positive Impact Now court is back in session. I'm Judge Angel.
And I'm Mike Faust, the co-host.
This is a show about you and for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching and giving us the chance to bring you insight, inspiration, and information. We have conversations with our guests, or as I like to call them, our expert witnesses, to bring you up to date and current information. Most of all, our goal is to increase wisdom and daily success. Of course, we love to hear your thoughts, so please leave your ideas and suggestions on our website, www.positiveimpactnow.com. That's positiveimpactnow.com. We hope you will like us on Facebook and share an idea and hint that you heard on the show with your friends and your family. Well, get ready, get ready. Today, we have a magnificent show. This is Positive Impact Now, and we're going to share some secrets. We're going to open the door and tell you how things really work. We start off with our wonderful pharmacist, Lorinda Lohner, and she's going to share with us the secret of beauty right in your own pantry. Then we're going to come back with Dr. Dennis Kimbro, and he's speaking about the wealth choice, success secrets of Black millionaires. First of all, we're here with pharmacist Lorinda Lohner, and she is such a special person. She has a master's in business administration. She has a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. She's been a pharmacist for 16 years. I don't believe it.
She started when she was 12.
Okay. And then she's also a professor of pharmacy at the College of Southern Nevada, and she's an instructor at Pima Medical Institute. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we are so honored. Now, you've told us there is hope. None of us have to give up. We don't have to rush out and spend hundreds of dollars to get makeup and items that can improve our skin, our body, our hair, our nails. How did you get into the natural ingredients for beauty?
That's tough. It's been a couple of years ago. I've been, just like any other woman, trying all this new cosmetics that's out on TV, on radio, but nothing seems to work, or I'm just scared of all this harsh chemicals that's part of the ingredients. So I thought, why not create or try using natural ingredients such as vegetables and fruits and stuff like that that's going to be coming from your own kitchen.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so wonderful. Now, what I find interesting, we see the ads on TV about new products, and you go to that department store, and invariably everything is $100 plus.
Right.
It's like nothing works under $100. But how did you get started in trying your recipes?
I think I saw it from my mom. When she was
good.
still alive, she would mix something up for her. She doesn't like buying stuff, ready stuff, out in the market. She would beat up some egg whites, put it on her face, milk, lather it on her body, soak in it, stuff like that. So I think that's more of the inspiration more than
It came
anything else. Yeah,
naturally.
it came naturally.
Okay, how would we use fruits?
Fruits. I like to mention a couple of fruits. I actually brought some notes with me, like the carrots.
Okay.
When you cut a carrot, it looks like a human eye, right? And
Ah,
then we've proven, or research has proven, that carrots is good for your eyes.
yes.
Okay.
Vitamin A, very good.
Vitamin A. Tomatoes. Tomatoes, when you cut a tomato open, it has 4 chambers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the heart. The heart has 4 chambers too.
Ah, good analogy.
And the lycopene in tomatoes is good for your heart. It's a heart food. We got the kidney beans, which is also good for your kidney. It looks like just like the kidney. And we also have grapes. They come in clusters.
Uh-huh.
They look like the heart, and they're good for your heart too.
Yes.
Okay. If you noticed, a lot of the ingredients in the market for cosmetics nowadays include all these fruits and vegetables, like peaches, carrot seed oil, carrot oil. So we're going back to basics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, after
These we've had and used, and when people were just getting established, they would use what they had available instead of trying to drive down to the mall and
Right.
spend a lot of money. What are some of the beauty recipes that you would suggest for the face?
For the face, you can use carrots because carrots has anti-wrinkle property and anti-aging properties. Okay, you can puree some carrots, make
Some
them
raw carrots?
raw carrots. Okay, or you can steam it so that it's easier to blend. Okay, and then once it's pureed, okay, you can put it on your face, use it as a mask, leave it for 10 to 15 minutes, and you got your anti-aging and anti-wrinkle mask.
Okay, so you would do this once or twice a week?
Yes, once a week I would suggest.
Okay, excellent. So I imagine almost anyone could do that because it's natural food, doesn't have any chemicals, no preservatives added. So it would work for almost anyone's skin.
Right. Another ingredient that you can get from your refrigerator or your kitchen is eggs. Okay.
Great.
Egg whites.
Yes.
Okay. It's full of collagen. It's collagen rich.
Yes.
So why buy all this expensive facial products that they say it's got collagen, that's why it's doing the thing, it's doing the anti-wrinkle, it's giving you much collagen, when your egg whites have those.
Yeah.
So just
So
beat
would
it up.
you would take an egg white and just let it get room temperature perhaps?
Yes, room temperature.
And then just beat it and,
Beat it
and
up.
put the foam on your face
On your face,
and leave it for how long?
20 minutes.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So it sounds like we may be able to find some food that we can use every day and just have
Right.
20 minutes of relaxation.
Me time.
Me time, put something on and just relax.
Right.
So we've got carrots and eggs for the face. What about the hands? What could we do for the hands?
For the hands, what you can do is just like what others do, the paraffin wax. Instead of using paraffin, what we can do is to use a petroleum jelly substitute, because a lot of people don't like using petroleum jelly. Okay.
Okay, well, what would that be?
Okay. A petroleum jelly substitute would be beeswax
Okay.
and some other oils, such as your olive oil or your sweet almond oil. What you do is you grate some beeswax. You can get it from a craft store or order it online. Get some beeswax, grate it, and then melt it using a double boiler, meaning there's water under a pot and you have the beeswax on top so that you can be guaranteed that's evenly heated. Okay, after you've melted that, put a few drops of olive oil, okay, and then use either a blender or an electric mixer. Okay, once you get a very good consistency, just like a petroleum jelly consistency, add 2 drops of grapefruit seed extract, which will function as your preservative.
Now that's a grapefruit seed extract.
Grapefruit seed extract
Okay.
functions as a preservative.
Are you saying grape or grapefruit?
Grape.
Grape. Okay, there.
Grapefruit.
Now I'm getting it. Thank
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so grape seed is what we're hearing about that's so good for our body, our brain, our heart, our
losing
eyes, just
weight.
everything. So you would get that extract from grape seed extract from a health food store?
Yes.
Okay, you've got your beeswax from a craft store. You're melting that until it's almost liquid.
Correct.
And then you're adding a couple of drops of the grape seed extract.
Yeah. You grate the beeswax, you add your olive oil or sweet almond oil
Okay.
as part of the major ingredients.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you beat that using an electric mixer.
Uh-huh.
And then you add a few drops of grapefruit seed extract.
Nice, nice. And then you take the wax and you put it.
It will become a wax consistency, and then you just put it on your hands. You can get saran, wrap it in saran,
Okay.
and just relax. Put your hands on top of a chair or a recliner, and put your hands on top of your chair, or just relax for 20 minutes. After that, unwrap, wash your hands. You'll
Oh,
see the
okay.
difference. Do it once a week, and you'll see major difference in your hands.
Is that right? That's good to know. So before we go any further, I know a lot of people are driving. Can we put some of these recipes on our website?
Sure.
Great, great. So not to worry. We will have all of these recipes on our website. That would
I
be
have a
wonderful.
question. From a man's standpoint, all this sounds wonderful, and of course, beauty has no cost. I get that, but it sounds like this is a lot of fruit and bee pollen and stuff. I mean, do you have an idea, or is there a number? How much is my grocery bill going to go up if we stop buying cosmetics and start buying extra fruit?
You don't have to buy extra fruit, really, or extra of this or extra of that. These oils are available in health food stores, and I know you're going to say, okay, that costs money too. One recipe that I could suggest not using fruits, it's actually using a waste product. A lot of us throw our coffee grinds.
Yes, I do. Away.
Don't. I'm telling you, don't.
What secret do you have
Okay.
used for the coffee grind?
Okay, for the coffee grounds, don't throw them away because there's so many uses for your coffee grounds, okay? Either, I know a lot of people know that it can be a fertilizer
For your plants?
for your plants,
Yes.
correct? Or you can use it as a bug repellent.
Really?
Yeah, say you got a lot of ants or whatever.
Well, we
bugs.
live in Vegas, so everybody, as soon as the weather gets cool, the bugs try and come in. So how do we use it to deter this?
Just put the coffee grounds, the used ones, on your patio or wherever there's a lot
like
of
the edge of
yes,
everything.
the edge of your door steps and stuff like that. But going back to beauty secrets, it can be used as a slimming agent.
Slimming? We like that.
Yeah. Okay, so your coffee grounds, once freshly brewed coffee, of course you're going to enjoy your coffee after that. You take the grounds, rub it on your body, okay? On the areas where there are cellulite problems such as your arms, your belly, your thighs. Rub it while you're in the shower. You can even wrap yourself with saran or wear wetsuit.
Okay, so you could just rub the coffee grinds on your body where you want to be a little slimmer or tighter, and then maybe wrap that area in saran wrap.
Right.
And then just wait and get in the
20
shower
minutes.
and rinse it off.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
One more way to do it is to, if you have a sauna at home, you can stay in the sauna while you are wrapped in saran with that coffee grounds. Or if you don't have a sauna at home, what you can do is to just run, I know this is not good, run the hot water in the shower and let that steam help you sweat out. Coffee has been proven to break down fats.
Very good. It's just unfortunate that coffee is not breaking fat down when you drink it. That's my
Right.
forte.
Yeah.
Has to work from the outside in, evidently.
Doggone it.
Yeah. And if you're not a coffee drinker, there's another cheaper way to do it. Okay? Go to Starbucks. Okay?
Uh-huh.
What they do, they save coffee grounds. You can just go to one of their baristas or one of their staff and ask for coffee grounds. They'd be happy to give you bags and bags of coffee grounds. So
That's a good solution for the
That's it.
non-coffee drinker.
Correct.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yes.
That sounds great. Well, we're going to need to take a quick break for just a minute, and then we're going to come back with more information from our lovely guest. This is Positive Impact Now, the new Positive Impact Now show at KLAV 1230 AM radio. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Bye now.
This is Graham Kerr. Hello, here's some more food news that you can enjoy. It often seems that there's hardly time for breakfast anymore, don't know about you, but how about a fruitful breakfast that'll go anywhere, called a smoothie? You can actually use anything as a base, yogurt, non-fat milk, soy milk, fruit juice perhaps, and simply toss in whatever fruit you've got available. And frozen berries, bananas, they work exceptionally well, but you really should experiment with pears and peaches and kiwis too. The fruit will sweeten it naturally, and a splash of vanilla extract seems to melt it all together beautifully in the blender. So pour it into your favorite travel cup and you're off. So go on, do yourself a flavor and enjoy your 5 or more servings of fruit and vegetables every day. That's the good news from the National Cancer Institute.
Positive Impact Now is a show about you. Do you want to improve in areas of your health, attitudes, and most of all, your enjoyment? I'm Judge Angel. Along with guest hosts, Positive Impact Now will bring you information, coaching, and encouragement to reach your goals. Join us every Thursday from 4 to 5 for your Positive Impact Now with Judge Angel.
Positive Impact Now. Continues. Here again, Judge Angel and Mike Faust.
Hi, welcome back to the new Positive Impact Now show. And you're joining us in our conversation with our guest. Angel, help me.
Oh, Dr. Lorinda Lohner, a pharmacist, an instructor, a talented person who has just sat down and used that brain of hers to come up with some good ways of nourishing our face, our body, our hands. Oh, and you said our feet. What can we do for our feet?
Whatever you do to your hands, you can do to your feet.
Okay. They match. So
They match. Yeah.
it's the
Same
body.
skin.
Okay, very,
Same
very
type
good.
of skin.
Good.
One of the things you have told me is that learning to experiment with cosmetics can lead to a hobby.
Correct. I have students who come to my class and they wanted to do cosmetics making as a hobby. But I have also a group that comes into my class who are very much interested into making it a business. Others who started coming to my class thinking of it as a hobby later on turns out to be business people. They realize that they can make money from it.
Now you're speaking my language.
Exactly.
Money.
There are so many products that are coming out now saying no paraffin, no this. I mean, they list the items they do not put in of product, a skin product.
Correct.
So I think as an industry, the industry of cosmetics are really leading toward the point where they're taking out so many chemicals.
Right.
Yeah, so that would be good. Well, we thank you so much for joining us today, and we're asking you to please come back. You have another topic that's equally as fascinating, and we're letting everyone know this is Positive Impact Now, and we're going to share some of Ms. Lohner's recipes on the website.
Right.
things we can do for our face, our eyes, our
Body.
hair. What can we do for our hair? We got to hear this.
What you can do for your hair, you can do a cucumber conditioner.
Ah,
Just puree cucumber. It's kind of, others think it's nasty because it's cucumber and you'll have some small particles left in your hair, but it's a
yes.
matter of rinsing it off.
And you
Rinsing
do
it
this
thoroughly.
before you wash it, I would think. You
Right.
condition it, so when you
Right.
wash it, all that's washed out.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much
You
for
are
having me.
delightful. And thank you, hubby, for driving her and coming in with her. Very nice of you, Eric. We appreciate it.
Thank you so
Hope to
much.
see you soon.
Thank you. Good luck on your show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. And now we're going to continue with our guest with The Wealth Choice, author of The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. And our guest today is Dr. Dennis Kimbro. Dr. Kimbro, are you there?
I am doing fine. Thanks a million. You could have selected anybody to be on your show. I am honored.
Well,
Oh.
we wanted the best. Okay.
I'll be sure to tell my students at Clark Atlanta University.
That's right. That's for sure.
Well, this Dr. Kimbro is a renowned author and speaker, and has written about and interviewed and worked with celebrities like Bob Johnson, Spike Lee, L.A. Reid, Herman Cain, T.D. Jakes, and Tyrese Gibson, who all have found their paths to wealth. And what they did or didn't learn about money early on, what they had to sacrifice to get to the top, and the role of discipline in managing their success. And we're so very happy to have you here today, Dr. Kimbro, to maybe share some information on that or tell us a little bit about your story and your path to success.
Well, you are more than kind. Well, the back flap story to me, I'm an open book. Yes, I've written 5 books, and I've been more than blessed. 2 of them are bestsellers. Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, my first book, close to 1 million copies in print. But it all started back more than 30 years ago. You know, when I got my fancy PhD degree from Northwestern University, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I certainly knew what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go off to Wall Street. Many of my colleagues couldn't wait to run there and make a killing in the market. I didn't want to go the corporate route, though I did work in corporate America for a number of years. And then last but not least, I didn't want to teach. But what in the world do you do when you got those 3 letters, PhD, at the end of your name? And that's what I do now. But first and foremost, I had to have the answers to 2 questions. Question number 1, why does one person succeed while another fails? And question number 2, why is one individual rich and wealthy while another is impoverished?
And
So
Dr.
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment, Dr. Kimbro, that is such a powerful question. And so many people like to answer that question, why am I rich and someone else is not rich? They like to think it's because luck, that it's all about luck.
Well, I can tell you one thing. After 7 years, now this is my 5th book, a 7-year study on black millionaires. And for 7 years, all I did, number 1, I held 6 focus groups. If you weren't black, African American, and you weren't 7 figures, $1 million or more, you did not get in that room. I had a focus group in North Carolina with car dealers. I had 3 focus groups in Atlanta. I had a huge focus group in Washington, D.C., and in that focus group in Washington, D.C. was Bob Johnson, founder of BET. Carla Harris, most powerful black woman on Wall Street, was in that focus group. Both of the Roberts brothers, Michael and Stephen Roberts, were in that focus group. I had a small one in Omaha, Nebraska, and just a smaller one out in Las Vegas with women. And then last but not least, I had 50 to 60 interviews. You know, I made the distinction up front, no athletes and no entertainers. And I've had, you know, athletes say, oh, man, Dr. Kimbro, can I complete a survey? Why don't you? And I said, no. And they said, why not? And I said, well, I'm after wealth, not income. So after the interviews, after the focus group, and after the survey, 118 questions, I can tell you as clear as day that wealth is not a function of race. It's not a function of gender. It's not a function of who your parents were, which side of tracks you were born, the circumstances that you encountered in your life. how the cards were dealt. It's not a function of none of that. But it is a function of faith, and it is a function of discipline, and it is a function of choice, and it is a function of, believing in yourself when no one else will. At the counter of success, there are no bargains. Each of us must pay a price, and we must pay it in full.
Absolutely.
Now the subtitle to my book, The Wealth Choice. Choice is the operative word. And there are 50 million different choices that we face on a daily basis. What we're going to wear, what time we're going to eat, who we're going to associate over the weekend, blah, blah, blah. 99.9% of those choices you can dismiss, you don't have to address. But there are two choices you must face as soon as your feet hit that cold ground in the morning. Number one, you can accept the circumstances as they are, or number two, you can take the responsibility to change them. And the men and women that I, interviewed and surveyed over a 7-year period always took the latter approach.
Dr. Kimbro, you are giving us such great gems. I just have to ask a few questions. I know our listeners are wondering. You said there's a difference between wealth versus income.
Oh, without a doubt. Like we see it all the time. We're so enamored with athletes. We're so enamored with entertainers. That's income. Wealth is not day to day. Well, there are 10 different forms of wealth, and only money is one of them. I'm not looking at when you look at athletes, and I've been in, locker rooms speaking to pro teams. I spoke to the Denver Nuggets basketball team. I spoke to the Kansas City Royals baseball team. I spoke to the St. Louis Rams football team. And you stand in the locker room, and what do we know about the average football player? Well, the average career in the NFL is only 3 years and 8 months. And, there are 53 athletes on that team. Only 8 are making money because of the salary cap. And if you're not one of the 8, the average salary in the NFL is $300,000 a year. So you do the calculus. If you stay in the league, close to 4 years and it's $300,000, you're earning less than $100,000 a year or more. And you're trying to keep up that lifestyle with one of the 8 who's got, a $20 million contract. And I know, and I've been around these athletes. You get in the league, and what's the first thing you're going to do? Well, mama doesn't have a house. I'm going to get mama a house. Number two, I'm going to go ahead and get a car. And you're not going to get a Hyundai. You're going to get something low and long and brand new. So that's what, I'm not into that. I'm into folks who built their wealth and, more importantly, held on to wealth. And what do we know about wealth? Forsaken today for tomorrow. Wealth is not what you earn. It's what you have left over. Wealth is not what you possess. It's not today. It's what you look forward to. And that is the critical difference.
One of the things that I have considered quite a bit, even in relation to my own life and career, is when I think about wealth, I've heard so many times that maintaining that wealth is difficult, but the severe challenge in this country, I guess, is no different than any other country. The real challenge is acquiring that wealth at the beginning, at the start. How do you build that wealth from nothing if great wealth is not a function of inheriting it, making money the old-fashioned way, or being in the right place at the right time, just good fortune. And I've met a number of those people in my business brokerage work. Acquiring wealth seems to be the real issue. And other than determination, making good choices, discipline, do you think in your interviews with these wealthy people that became wealth and acquired great wealth through their life without being...
Well, that's what the book is completely about. And I can tell you over a 7-year period, I interacted with no less than 1,000 black millionaires.
Wow.
Hell, you only got 35,000. When Martin Luther King led the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955, there were only 5 black millionaires in the United States. Now, I interviewed 3 of the 5, and I shared their story in my first book, Think Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And now you fast forward the videotape more than 25 years for my life, and, Martin Luther King more than 60 years. Here we are in 2013. You've got 35,000 black millionaires, but you've got 5 black billionaires.
Okay.
And I interviewed 3 of the 5, and now I'm sharing this story in The Wealth Choice. Now, that's nothing to get excited about, black America, but let me tell you in a second. Yeah, there are 35,000 black millionaires, but when you look at our consumption dollars, when you look at the 9,000 elected officials that we place in the office every year, when you look at the level and the quality of education and the opportunity that we see and that we trip across on a daily basis here in this country, Instead of producing 35,000 black millionaires, we shouldn't have produced one less than 300,000. The bottom line is, Black America, what are you doing with your money? And you got to look at your spending habits. But that's a sermon for another Sunday. But to answer your question, you said, what are the determining factors? Over the 7-year period, I found 7 best practices, 7 core values and competencies that black millionaires, if they don't, adhere to on a daily or a weekly basis, they do it on a monthly basis. And number 1, top of the list, is knowledge. Prosperity begins in the mind but ends in the purse. And we live in a society that's predicated, if you want to earn more, I suggest that you learn more. And if you violate the first law of wealth, there's no use for you to go on to the the other 6. Because in my focus groups, the average black millionaire almost reads a book a week when no one else is reading. That's almost, 52 books a month. The bottom line is, if you don't take in the information, if you don't grow, if you don't develop, if you don't go to the seminars, if you don't go to the conferences and read and study and grow and develop, out there in the universe, somebody else will. And the day that you meet that other person, you lose. And that's what we're doing as a race. We're not taking in the information. And I'm a college professor. My colleagues can't stand when I talk like this, but I got to tell my students the real deal. Formal education will get you a job, but self-education will make you rich. A career is what you're made for, but a career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you're made for. And therein lies a huge difference.
Well, and I understand that this is certainly a fabulous book, and your students are going to be certainly well informed and blessed by what you have to share with them. But I think probably another issue that we have to contend with here is that a lot of that is strength in numbers. If you have more people that are educated and knowledgeable and aware of these principles that you're talking about, then we will have more millionaires and billionaires. But when you have a majority, or at least a large minority of black people who are not attending college, who are not reading regularly, how do we get the word to those people so that we can take advantage of that strength in numbers, rather than focusing the effort on the talented 10th?
You're exactly right. And that's done by choice. I mean, you got to focus. You got to make wealth creation a priority. You go back to 1899, our most prolific scholar, W.E.B. Du Bois, wrote his seminal book called The Negro in Business. And I got a copy of the survey that Du Bois used. And what did he do? He went up and down the eastern coast. He went up and down the eastern seaboard, interviewing successful business owners, trying to ascertain the core secrets to their success. And when he wrote the book, they had a huge conference in the Atlanta. It was called the Atlanta Conference, where he could share the findings. And instead of reading his book and using it as a springboard, what did my race do? We put it on the shelf and we never opened it. Now, that was in 1899. Now you got a reset button almost 115 years later. And I'm not here to hawk books. Hell, yeah, I teach, 3 classes at Clark Atlanta. You look at the syllabus, the syllabi that I use, you will never find any of my books on my syllabus. I'm not there to hawk books. I don't make kids buy my books. Now, they got my books in the bookstore. I know come Christmas time, Christmas break, they're going to run in my office. Dr. Kimbro, autograph this from my mama, my daddy, my auntie doesn't believe that you're my professor and all this. It always happens. But here is the key. We've got a reset button. I interviewed Andy Young, and I asked Andy Young this particular question, and I just knew he was going to say Martin Luther King. I said, Ambassador Young, who had the greatest effect on your life? And he said, Benjamin Mays. And I said, why Benjamin Mays? I said, you're talking about, the old schoolmaster, the former president of Morehouse College, of all the people that you met and interacted with, why Dr. Mays? He said, because you could always tell when a student at Morehouse College was taking a class from Benjamin Mays. I said, how? He said, you could see him running across the quad. You see, Benjamin Mays only had 2 rules in his classroom. Rule number 1, he would always correct your English. And all the juniors and seniors over at Morehouse would get in the huff. Man, that's whack. Why is this guy correcting my English? And Dr. Mays would reply, would you rather have me correct your English or a prospective employer correct your English? And then number 2, Benjamin May said, I'll always be the last individual in class. You see, he didn't care on the roll book. He didn't care on the syllabus. He didn't care on the core catalog. If class was due to start at 1 o'clock, if Dr. Mays got in that classroom at 12:45, that door was closed. On time is late, and early is on time. And late, well, late, damn it, is fired. And he made every student that he taught at Morehouse, the first assignment, you had to memorize that old poem. I've only just a minute, 60 seconds in it, force upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But I know that I must use it. I'll suffer if I lose it, pay account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but baby doll, my life is in it. Now, going back to Andy Young, he told me, he said, you know, me and Martin Luther King made a mistake. And I said, made a mistake? What do you mean, Mr. Ambassador? He said, we integrated the lunch counter, but we failed to integrate the dollar. And I said, Mr. Ambassador, how do you integrate the dollar? He said, somebody has got to come up with the keys, the traits, the qualities, and show us as a race how we can compete effectively in a free, open, capitalistic economy. And that really gave me the springboard for the book. Now, here's a guy that walked hand in hand with our icon telling us, and this is what he told me. He said the final rung on the ladder to civil rights is civil rights. Here's the keys. 7 years. These are your wealth creators. So what? You don't believe that you could do what Mark Zuckerberg did. So what? You don't believe what you can do what Steve Jobs did. So what? You don't believe what Chad Hurley, the founder of YouTube, Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, could do. Well, these are your wealth creators. Go ahead and read, because I interviewed Kathy Hughes. Read how it took Kathy Hughes to go from dream to reality. I interviewed Damon John. Read what he had to say. I interviewed Antonio Reed, L.A. Reid, X Factor. Here are examples of your own. And people even say to me, Dr. Kimbro, it takes money to make money. Damn it, it doesn't take money to make money. It takes a dream. It takes a vision. It takes believing in yourself when no one else will. Baby, if you do that, listen, you solve a small problem, you make money. But you solve a big problem, well, damn it, you get rich. And here are the keys.
Okay. Dr. Kimbro, you started off, you said one of the most pronounced things you observed with the billionaires was that they're knowledgeable and they're reading almost a book a week.
Yep. Reading a book a week.
A book. What about that television, sir?
Yeah, and what is Black America doing? No one watches more TV than African Americans, and that's not me. That's the Nielsen ratings. Go online, and Nielsen will give you the data. There's only 168 hours in the week. All right, 1/3 of that time we're going to be sleeping. So you go ahead and do the calculus, and now you're down to 110 hours or 100 hours a week. Of the 100 hours, Black America, the average African American watches 76 hours of TV a week.
Wow.
That's an astonishing number.
76 hours a day. And what's our number one show? Reality shows. Pop culture.
Right.
And see, the bottom line is, the wealthy, the powerful, they make money. Everybody else makes excuses.
I think you're on to something there, and we're gonna contemplate that for just a minute here. Thank you for listening. This is Dr. Dennis Kimbro with a fabulous professor and author of The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. And we're going to join him, we're going to come back to him in just 1 minute here at KLAV 1230 AM radio with the new Positive Impact Now show. Thank you.
Positive Impact Now is a show about you. Do you want to improve in areas of your health, attitudes, and most of all, your enjoyment? I'm Judge Angel. Along with guest hosts, Positive Impact Now will bring you information, coaching, and encouragement to reach your goals. Join us every Thursday from 4 to 5 for your Positive Impact Now with Judge Angel.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. And the odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Positive Impact Now. Continue. Here again, Judge Angel and Mike Faust.
Welcome back to the new Positive Impact Now show. You're joining us with Dr. Dennis Kimbro, famous professor and author of The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. Dr. Kimbro, you've made some fabulous points, and by all means, we want you to continue. Can you tell us another item on that list of...
Yes, number one is knowledge, and number two is decision. Like I said, at the counter of success, there are no bargains. You must pay the price, and you must pay it in advance and in full. You've got to decide that you will not be poor. One of the interviews that I had is a gentleman by the name of Victor McFarlane. I told you earlier there are 5 black billionaires in the United States, and if it weren't for the 07-08 recession, there were 5 other individuals who were going to join the ranks of billionaireship, and Victor McFarlane was one of them. He owns a real estate development and investment company. He does about $600 million out in the Bay Area in San Francisco. And the last time our president flew out to the West Coast, he dined with McFarlane at his home. Well, Victor McFarlane was raised by a single parent in Middletown, Ohio, a blue-collar working-class community. And his mother lived in an apartment, one-bedroom apartment, and in the foyer area there was a couch. And that couch, Victor told me, substituted as the bed that he and his older sister slept on for the first 12 years of his life. Well, when he shared that with me in the interview, I became somewhat empathetic and sympathetic, and I said, damn, Victor, that had to be tough. And he said, he knew exactly where I was going, and he cut me off at the knees. He says, Doc, I don't want any sympathy. As a matter of fact, when I look back, those are probably the best 12 years of my life. I said, what do you mean, Victor? Translate. He said, it was during that 12-year period, sleeping on that couch, that I made the conscious decision that poverty would have no place in my life. Until you decide, number one, make the decision, and number two, don't let an exception occur. Sooner or later, that you have got to decide as an individual. And part of that deciding is, finding your area of excellence. What are your goals? And what do we know about goals? You were at your best when you were chasing a dream. You were at your best when you're chasing a goal. Sooner or later, you got to place your fingerprints on life and prove you were here. Why did the Lord take time out of his busy schedule to blow breath into your lungs? Do you even know your area of excellence, why you were here? And there are 3 questions you got to ask yourself in order to find your area of excellence. Number 1, what do you love to do? What do you have a passion for? What can you throw your whole heart and soul into? Question number 2, what would you do for free? If no one ever paid you, if no one ever gave you financial reward for your efforts, what would you do for free? Because when you're doing what you love to do and you would do it for free, your work is your play. And if your work is your play, you'll never work a day in your life. And then last but not least, what is your area of unfair competitive advantage? I mean, Judge Angel, I got 3 daughters, and all of them doing well, college educated. 2 of them got their master's degrees, but they all have different areas of unfair competitive advantage. When you identify your area of excellence, the one reason why you are here, your purpose, the one calling that is on your chest, when you are the best at what you do, you never have to worry about income, and you never have to worry about employment. Why? The marketplace will seek you out.
Absolutely. Having goals and having passions is universal. The problem is, but people talk themselves out of their passions.
Don't you know the average individual in our society, in this country, the average individual gets 4 ideas a year, any one of which, if they had the guts, if they had the courage, if they had the fortitude to chase their dream, will make them financially independent. Now, Judge Angel, I don't know what book your listeners, read, but the book that I read says, live life and live it abundantly. Well, what does that mean? It doesn't mean Gucci and Prada and I got a lotta. It means to see the possibilities. And I don't know how many times you read the Bible, it talks about, your inherent mission. It talks about not only to live life and live it abundantly, but what is the noble task? And the noble task is to at least try. And we don't even try.
Well, I think that's the key.
Why we are.
It seems that there are so many people that I've spoken with and met that are very creative. And I work with a lot of business people, successful people, and most of them have one thing in common. They do work very hard, and a lot of them will admit it doesn't seem like work because they do love what they do. And
Yep.
some of them have just attributed to a strong work ethic. That's my excuse. I grew up in the Midwest with those old Midwestern values: a good day's work for a good day's pay. I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
But the point that I try to make to a lot of people is you can be the most creative person in the world with honorable goals, a great background, and all the capability and to accomplish this dream you have, but nothing will happen until you get up and do something. You have to take action. And I think that's one of the hardest things for people to do is to reach for the phone and make that first call. Get out and take that first step in the day that's going to lead you to the place of work. You have to get out of bed, turn off the TV. You have to do something and take some action.
And most of
Well,
all,
I asked these black millionaires, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut in, but
No,
I asked
come
them in the survey 118 questions. One of the questions, at what age were you when you broke six figures? In other words, at what age were you when you earned $100,000 a year or more? 99.9%, it came back age 30. Follow-up question, at what age were you when you got the big picture that you could join the ranks of seven figures millionaire? It came back early 40s. And then the average age of a black millionaire is age 52. So that is their road to Damascus. That is their Saul to Paul conversion. That is their Jonah in the belly of the whale. You know, the rich, the powerful, the wealthy, they make money. Everybody else makes an excuse. And what is an excuse? Any reason for inactivity. This is about mindset, listeners. All you got to do is change the data on the diskette.
as a
Bible
man
sa- Go
thinketh,
ahead.
as a man thinketh, so he is.
And that's what T.D. Jakes told me. There I am in Bishop. He was one of the 50, 60 interviews that I had. I'm in his book line study at the Potter's House. And I'm looking at every book on God's green earth you'd ever want to read, study, or examine in your life. And what do we know about Bishop T.D. Jakes? Number one, they told him he would never make it in the ministry. He has a heavy lisp. Number two, he didn't finish high school. Yeah, he went back and got his GED, but he's a high school dropout. Number three, they damn near ran him out of Charleston, West Virginia with only 8 members. But fast forward the videotape. And here he is, 30,000 member, 191,000 square foot facility, $45 million mega church. So I'm in his book line study, and bam, all of a sudden here he walks in for the interview. And I threw up all those obstacles and roadblocks that he had to overcome that would have froze anybody in the tracks. And I said, Bishop, they never said you would make it in the ministry because of this, because of that. And he said to me, I don't care if I had to spit. I don't care if I had to stutter. I don't care if I had to stammer. I had something to say, and I was going to say it. I said, well, you know why I'm here. I'm writing this book. You got an open mic. Say whatever you want to say. He said, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. But show him how he can buy the pond, and no one in his family will ever know struggle. Boys and girls, men and women, your listeners out there, look, damn it, here is the way to buy the pond. Here is the way to make a difference. Here is the way to be more, to have more, and to do more. We need people who are bold enough. We need men and women who are courageous enough. We need those individuals who are audacious enough to sign their name on the front of a paycheck as well as the back. And that is the inherent difference.
We have to really go for it and surround ourselves with a good support team that's going to encourage us and not talk about, oh, that's so hard. And my answer always to that is all the good stuff is difficult. If it was easy, people wouldn't want it and desire it.
That's what Black America has to do now. Judge Angel, if we would just complete these two tasks, if we did it today, here it is Thursday, October 24th. If we did goal 1 today, goal 2 today, we will never know poverty tomorrow. Number 1, get all the naysayers, get all the non-believers, get all the cynics, get all those with victim mentality and victim consciousness, get them out of the room. I don't care where you're going, but damn it, you're going to get the hell out of here. I still love you. Come on, give me a hug, say goodbye, kiss me. You got to get out of here. I don't want to see you. Need some money? Here, let me give you a $5 bill for a Trailway bus ticket. You're going to get out of here. Give me some DAP before you go. Goodbye. Then after you do that, you have got to find a way, number 2, to get a laptop, a notebook computer in the hands of every black elementary school child on this planet. Now, if you do number 2 without doing number 1, when you give that child that notebook computer and they boot up, and then the dreams and the ideas and the visions begin to flow, and you don't take care of number 1 first, that's when the cynic and naysayer, there you go with those silly dreams. You know, my next door neighbor got that dream 5 years ago and never did anything, blew up in the face. But boy, give me that computer. That's when you get in trouble. That's when the dreams and the ideas, and you know, you can always tell when you got a dream, because here comes the dream stealer. There is no better time on the face of the earth right now to be in business for yourself. Why? Because if you got a cell phone with internet access, I don't care if you boot up at 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there are 2 billion other people online with you. And you can use those 2 billion people to share your idea, to talk about your product service, how you're going to add value, or you can use that 2 billion people marketplace to gossip. And that's where we find ourselves every day.
Oh, wow.
Well, Dr. Kimbro, your energy and your enthusiasm and passion for the subject is clear, and I'm sure that those who are around you and those who take the opportunity to look through your book are going to be blessed with that and share in that. And we certainly appreciate having you on and look forward, I hope, in the not-too-distant future to have you come on and tell us more. I hope that we can make that happen.
Yes, let's go through the other points that you organized for us in your book.
Well, number 1 is knowledge. Number 2 is decision. Number 3, you got to believe in yourself when no one else will. Number 4, we talked about that, to thy own self be true. What are your unique gifts? Why are you here? How are you going to add value? Number 5, which is critical, how may I serve thee? I mean, you solve a problem, you make money, you solve a big problem, you get rich. Service is the price you pay for the space that you occupy. Service is the great equalizer. I don't care if you're dead broke. I don't care if you can't find a quarter with a roadmap. You were stranded on the street corner with a cardboard sign saying, I will work for food. Service is the great equalizer. Why? Because anybody can be the most positive person in the room. Anybody can do more than what is expected, more than what is required. Anybody can wow the customer. Q plus MA equals C. The quality of your service plus the quantity of your service plus the mental attitude in which is rendered always equals compensation. And that's not me. That's the black millionaires in this study.
I tell people all the time, you can do more than you think you can. And I think that's a key. This is Dr. Dennis Kimbro, famous professor and author of The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. And we look forward to having you back, Dr. Kimbro. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Take care. God bless.
We appreciate you. Thank you. This is
KLAV 1230 AM radio, the new Positive Impact Now show. I'm Mike Faust, co-host.
I'm Judge Angel, and we're so appreciative to you for listening.
We want to definitely thank our guests, Dr. Dennis Kimbro with The Wealth Choice, and the lovely Lorinda Lohner,
yes,
who shares some great secrets, beauty secrets that are going to use up a lot of fruit and vegetables in the house.
Well, for good use.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks to the crew. Please join us again next week. Look us up, like us on Facebook, and you can see and hear our show on YouTube, Positive Impact Now. And thank you for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next week.
See you soon.